Parker Schnabel doesn't want his children to inherit his gold rush job. While Discovery's Gold Rush focuses on several different mining operations, it's safe to say Parker Schnabel has become something of the runaway star of the show. He had more of a guest star role in the first season, but given the big nugget mine starting in season 2. On the surface, it seems as though Schnabel comes from a family of miners, as both his grandfather and father were in the same business. But it would appear Schnabel doesn't expect his own kids to follow in those footsteps if they don't want to. The Gold Rush star explained to Monsters and Critics, a big part of mining is to have a family and be able to employ your children if they so choose. Right? I was not really raised that way. My dad owned a business, and I worked for him some, but I never was pressured to. There was never an expectation to do that. Schnabel may not have kids yet, but when or if he ever does, it sounds like he's just fine with letting them decide what path in life they want to pursue. Parker Schnabel wants a relationship with his children like what he has with his father. While Parker Schnabel went into the same industry as his father, he doesn't work for him directly. This creates a bit of a separation between the two to where they're not spending every single second together. And Schnabel sounds glad that it worked out that way because everyone turned out happier. He went on to say, "What my dad's dream was is not mine, and I don't share that with my father, and I don't expect my kids to share my dreams." Schnabel admits that mining, in particular, has long been a family affair. Many miners pass on their operations to their kids, but he sounds willing to let his future children explore other options. If they want to go into mining, that's great. But if they don't, it sounds like Schnabel will support that decision. It's worked out well for him and his father at this point. Family can get quite messy and complicated at times, and that's not really what I'm after. I get my downtime, but my dad and I are best friends. But if we work together, that might not be the case. Schnabel's certainly done quite well for himself pursuing his own path, earning millions of dollars in the process. As long as parents are around to support their kids in whatever they do, that's all that matters. The biggest fights in gold rush history. Gold mining is not an easy job. It's physically exhausting and requires massive machinery, vehicles, and equipment that, if not used properly, can cause severe injury or even death. On top of all that, everyone involved takes a huge risk in devoting a substantial amount of time towards seeking a rare substance that may never be found. Therefore, mining operators might invest huge sums of money with no payoff, while workers are left wishing they had earned a wage elsewhere. Given all of those factors, it makes perfect sense that tempers have flared continuously throughout the filming of the series Gold Rush. On top of all that, the presence of television cameras does not tend to have a calming effect on emotionally charged situations, to say the least. But the miners, especially those who have been on the show for a few seasons, are well aware what they signed up for. And the film crew never misses an opportunity to capture a dramatic event to keep viewers enthralled. Here are the most intense conflicts that have occurred on the show. Jim Dorsey versus Greg Remsburg. The first season of Gold Rush looked like one of the toughest for the Hoffmans and their crew because the team seriously lacked experience and took a huge risk by being part of such an endeavor. Tensions became incredibly high by episode 6 when their lack of gold meant that they could no longer afford to have their families stay at the camp of the worksite. Greg Remsburg was especially devastated to say goodbye to his wife and children before they flew back to the lower 48 states. Meanwhile, the team's struggle to find gold was the most difficult for Jim Dorsey, who had invested everything he owned into the project. With the crew on edge, the volatile environment resulted in the first major fight of the series, breaking out between Dorsey and Remsburg. The altercation quickly got physical, leaving Dorsey bruised up a bit, and both of the men rushing to the authorities to tell their side of the story. Afterwards, neither man faced legal action, but Dorsey left Gold Rush immediately with his family after they gathered their belongings. Overall, the crew was fed up with Dorsey, so they celebrated his departure by setting his vacated cabin on fire before Jack Hoffman demolished it with an excavator. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel. Thank you.